All I know is that they start saying who to ho, you to ho, after a guy said Idaho. Quality communications.
The needle, the bender, the alpha, the bravo, and all the additions.
I'm waiting for the Idaho, Idaho.
10:30 in Idaho.
There it is.
Idaho. Idaho. Idaho.
Idaho, copy. I like how we could just use our phones, but we're still using this technology. Maybe there's just a place that doesn't have service, and you have to use shortwave. I'm sure there's plenty of utility for it. Someone said radio is less monitored by the government. However, it is more monitored by Vinesauce. So, Chad, I have something a little different. A couple interesting things. I basically have some famous shortwave radio signals, like number stations and such. Just stuff that is available to listen to on the internet, pretty much. One of the most well-known number stations out there, based out of Poland. It used the Stasi Sprachmaschine to generate its vocals. That's what you're hearing there. It's just, again, hearing the sounds. And then, like, ice cream music. And then weird, like, letters. Imagine finding that by accident. This one's called E13, 5 dashes. Oh boy.
4, 2, 3, 6, 4.
Yeah, this one just sounds weird to me. Both E13 and G13 were thought to be a cooperative CIA and West German BND number station network for destabilization operations. This was because its format was similar to the counting station. Oh, that tone on the voice is fucking off. It's just, that's not a great, thing to try to fall asleep listening to. This is not a stream to fall asleep to. This is V28 the Parrot, and this is as loud as I can make it. My God, she sounds so upset. I hope she's okay. I wouldn't blame anyone for cutting this one short. V28 the Parrot is a number station operated by North Korea. V28 broadcasts daily at 2 different time slots with some variation in frequency. The announcements are read by a live operator. This one is Scott Hamature, less weird, more wholesome. Just a guy having a grand old time talking with other ham radio dudes.
Evening from the Portable station, and I'll hang around here for a wee while longer, and then I'm off to bed.
I wonder if this guy would ever in his life have imagined that his private conversation, boring, mundane conversation that he was just having over shortwave, would be broadcast to like 9,500 people. But, no big deal. He was just saying, I hope you have a good night. Take care. Siberia antenna. Seems to be a conversation between 2 Russian individuals. I don't speak Russian, but one of them goes, and I thought it was funny. That's one of those things where you don't expect it to be funny just based on the text file, and then you hear it. It's like, oh, that's really funny, actually. Someone said this isn't creepy. We have weather reports over radio like this for sailors all the time. I think the creepy part is the quality. It's so low quality and crusted, and sometimes the voices get distorted. That's where it sounds creepy. To me, the number stations are genuinely creepy. That and just randomly happening upon some strange noises and data that you don't even know what it's for or what it is. So yeah, some of the stuff is who knows what it is, and then some of it's just like Idaho, and then I don't know. It's like humanity is weird. So chat, we have a part 2 of the weird audio files. We've got space, deep ocean, and just other weird noises. I think I'm going to start with Unexplained Sounds. Wow. So here's what you're listening to. This is the Forest Grove noise, and it's a mystery sound. To refresh, the Forest Grove noise was this very loud metallic sound heard in Forest Grove, Oregon. February 2016. Despite investigations, the source of it was never discovered, and the sound ceased at the end of February 2016. Seneca guns. The Seneca guns is a term for these loud booms you can hear, most commonly along the coast of the Carolinas, but they've been heard elsewhere, most notably on Seneca Lake, New York. It has been described as sounding like thunder, explosions, or artillery. They can be so extreme that they can trigger earthquakes, break windows of homes in its path, and rumble and shake the ground. Despite years of research and theories, the reason for this sound has never been properly explained. Scientists have at least deduced that these sounds are originating from the atmosphere and not the ground. If you think this might just be sonic boom of jet planes, well, I have news for you. The sound has been going off in these areas for over 150 years. Wow. What could they be? Yeah, that's very interesting. The trumpet, sound from British Columbia. This horrible noise was heard by residents of Terrace, British Columbia in 2013. The city's official Facebook page said it was the sound of a grater blade preparing to work on something in the city. Based on the spectrogram, I have reasons to believe that this is true, but others aren't so convinced. When the sound was heard again in 2015, the city did not comment on what it was. Everything surrounding this sound seemed to be rather murky. It is terrifying nonetheless, whether it's unexplained or grater rubbing up against the ground. Whatever that is. The Max Headroom incident. On the night of November 22nd, 1987, two TV stations in Chicago had their broadcasts interrupted by a pirate broadcast from a person in a Max Headroom costume.
The defense, which hadn't put up a sack in 12 quarters, finally did.
The first station was an independent news station, WGN-TV, happening in the middle of their local sports broadcast. However, it didn't last very long as engineers quickly regained control over the broadcast. There's no audio with it aside from loud static. Fuzzy memories.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. Actually, the computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top with the Bears.
The second broadcast happened 2 hours later to the PBS station WTTW during Doctor Who. This time, the pirate broadcast went on for about 90 seconds uninterrupted because there wasn't anyone manning the equipment that late at night. The only reason the pirate broadcast stopped was when the pirate ended it himself. The people responsible for the broadcast were never caught or identified, leaving it a mystery as to who would have done it. And while his ramblings are not all that different from today's inane Twitter comments, imagine how weird this must have been to see in the middle of the night, 1987. Yeah, it's Gray Leno before Gray Leno. Let's do space sounds. So we'll start with the sound of the Aurora Borealis. The reason for the Aurora Borealis' dazzling light show is still incomplete, but these particles are coming from the sun to interact with the atmosphere of the Earth, which create the northern lights. Although we don't fully understand why that is. What we do know is that they move through Earth's magnetic field, and they end up emitting a natural radio signal. This is that signal. May I hear it? Yes. Okay, so here's plasma waves captured by Voyager 1 when it left us. That's definitely aliens. Voyager 1 and 2 are the farthest man-made objects from Earth. In 2012 and 2013, Voyager 1's plasma waves instrument detected these vibrations upon entering interstellar space. Voyager 1 and 2 are now in an area of space that is no longer affected by our sun. They're still sending data back to NASA, but at this point, it takes a long time for that data to come home. See, to me, that just sounds like aliens, like gleebing. I get what's going on here, and it's very interesting. Even if I don't fully understand... Oh, that's an interesting noise. how this becomes sound. And I may not have the most insightful commentary other than, is that an alien gleaming? But I still find it very interesting. Here's one more from Voyager 2, the Uranus encounter. Behave yourself, chat. Same deal as the last ones, but now at Uranus. Sounds like there's a squeaky duck on Uranus. Vinny, these are LF and VLF radio waves. Radio is an electromagnetic wave, which your ears can't hear, but if we vibrate air at the same frequencies of the readings, we can hear the radio waves. You know what? That is an actually really, really good way to describe that. Next we have some acoustic audio files. This is what it sounds like for the Mars rover to be driving on Mars. Sounds like a bumpy ride. Someone just said, sounds lonely. Well, again, it's sometimes it can be a little easy to, you know, think about something as if it's lonely, and it's just an instrument, it's an object we created. But it does remind me of WALL-E a little bit, if I can be completely honest. This one's interesting. This is Planck, the sounds of the ancient universe. This tone represents sound waves that traveled through the early universe and were later heard by the Planck Space Telescope. Before there were any stars or galaxies, our universe was just a ball of hot plasma. Sound waves shook this infant universe, triggered by minute or quantum fluctuations happening just moments after the Big Bang that created our universe. As these sound waves propagated through the young universe, they left imprints on the matter. By mapping this ancient light that has traveled to us through space and time, Planck can essentially see the sound echoes of the early universe. Someone tell the ancient universe to stop vacuuming. It's after 10 p.m. Yeah, seriously. This next one is Black Hole at the Center of the Perseus Galaxy. So NASA creates these images by assigning pitch and volume to brightness and placement on photos or data. This sonification of this black hole is different from the rest, as they use actual sound waves that have been captured coming out of this cluster. This galaxy cluster, being as dense as it is with gas, allows sound to actually travel within it. There is sound in space, and it's being made by black holes. Terrifying. Yes, you are literally listening to a black hole. Historical noises. Au clair de la lune from 1860. The oldest known audible recording of a human voice. This was done using a phonautograph pictured in the video provided. These devices were the earliest known examples used to record sound. The huge drum on the device essentially acted as a large ear canal, while a boar bristle attached to a membrane sat on a paper covered in soot. When someone spoke, or in this case sang, into the drum, it would vibrate the membrane the boar bristle was attached to, thus removing soot from the paper to create a waveform. Basically, this worked similarly to a seismograph used for recording earthquakes. These recordings were unable to be played back until 2008, when researchers used computers and hours of time to reconstruct the sound etched onto the paper. Wow. That is genuinely fucking fascinating. It's weird that they would create a write-only device like that, though. Also, chat, 1860, that's like 2 lifetimes. Like, if you have someone born in 1850, and they were 10 when this happened, you can go from 1850 to potentially 1950, like 100 years, and then another person's whole ass life, and it takes you to current year. That's just one person. That's one dude. So I think it's very interesting how we view time.
The machine uses only 2 sounds produced electrically.
The voter.
One of these represents the breath. The other, the vibration of the vocal cords. Let's see how you put expression into a sentence. Say she saw me with no expression.
She saw me.
Now say it in answer to these questions. Who saw you?
She saw me.
Whom did she see?
She saw me.
Did
Wow.
she see you or hear you?
She saw me. She saw me and he forgot me.
One of the earliest devices to produce speech synthesis back in 1939. It was shown at the New York's World's Fair that year. And, 1939. What a weird skill that this woman has. That is so... I didn't know this existed. I find that to be incredibly fascinating. And just, like, how do you even... Yeah, just a year of constant practice, huh? Next one is very, very interesting. It is Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall, reconstructed from the human brain. In a new study, participants with electrodes on their brains listened to Another Brick in the Wall Part 1 from Pink Floyd's 1979 album The Wall. Researchers then used a computer model to convert the electrode signals into audio. You can actually hear it. Like, you can... That's fucking wild. Yeah, I can actually hear the individual, like, guitar notes that Gilmore's playing. It's... Yeah, that's nuts. Sounds reconstructed from the human brain. This seems to be a similar deal to the last one, but done by the Kyoto University.
And it's not the smoothest way to run a treadle. So...
Ooh. Oh my god. Yeah, that last one's a little bit of a nightmare fuel one. I mean, they all kind of are. Of course, I don't really understand. I mean, when you say we're interpreting, like, brain waves and, you know, electrodes, like, okay. I, again, am not any... Believe it or not, chat, I don't know if you know this, I'm not a scientist. I don't know if me saying speen gave it away, but there's a part of me that rejects it and is like, there's no fucking way they're getting these sounds from a brain. But maybe they are. And sounds like a horror movie. Anyway, audio illusions. No spectrogram visuals with these or photos, as they might sway the results of the illusions. So all of these were discovered by Diana Deutsch, a psychologist who studied the psychological effects of music and speech illusions. So this is Deutsch's scale. Auditory illusion, in which two series of unconnected notes appear to combine into a single recognizable melody, when played simultaneously into left and right ears of a listener. However, this goes deeper if you listen to this illusion with headphones. People who are predominantly right-handed will hear the high notes in their right ear, with the lower notes being in the left ear when the melody combines. This even happens if you swap your headphones around. Obviously, this illusion differs drastically depending on your dominant hand. Whoa, okay. I absolutely hear the higher melody in my right ear. Let me switch my headphones. Hang on. Okay, Chad, I switched my headphones. I'm going to try again. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, no, that got me. Okay, so I'm a righty, and in my right ear, I was hearing the higher melody both times. Like, so even before and after I flipped my headphones. So very, very, very weird. The tritone paradox, it's an auditory illusion in which a sequentially played pair of shepherd's tones separated by an interval of a tritone or half octave is heard as ascending by some people and descending by others. I've shown this to a few people and have gotten different results with each of them. So, let's see. So it's weird because I hear up, up, down, down, but I see chat members said down, up, 3 ascending, 1 descending, 3 ascending, 1 descending. So it's weird. I kind of, yeah, I get ascending, ascending, descending, descending. Try again. Uh-huh. Up. Mm-hmm. Up. Da-da. Down. Da-da. Down. Note how many people have different reactions to this. I'm seeing up, down, up, up. I'm seeing they keep changing. I'm seeing a lot of, I see someone says up, 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 up. So it's just kind of, I guess it depends on you. You could hear it, that one, as da-da, or da-da. Like you can hear like the bass note. Da-da, 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 all in the same one. Bass goes up though, does it? I hear doo-doo. Weird. Animal sounds. Got some interesting ones. Parmesan. It's not called that. It's the willow ptarmigan. Oh, I love this thing. Squirtle, squirtle, squirtle. Squirtle. This is just the noise this bird makes. The second half of the recording, the loud barking, is a male's mating call. Fantastic. Walrus. Male walruses can make these bell-like sounds underwater. What the fuck? Weird. All walruses make a wide variety of clicks and grunts underwater, seemingly for communication and competing for mates. Bioduck. This sound was first recorded sometime in the 1960s by submarine personnel, which called it bioduck. The purpose of the sound is still a mystery, however. It does sound a little quacky. And it sounds like throat singing. Weird. For decades, nobody was really sure what the sound was, and it was once dubbed as one of the largest unsolved mysteries of the Southern Ocean. It wasn't until 2014 that scientists discovered that this sound was made by Antarctic minke whales, or minke whales. Garibaldi damselfish grinding its teeth. It's extremely aggressive to anything and anyone. The sound is one of its threat displays. The fish does look like quite an asshole. And this is from Wikipedia. During this time period that the eggs are developing, the male Garibaldi aggressively tries to keep all other fish away from the very edible eggs. Very edible. Star Wars. Named because of its similarity to sci-fi sound effects. Once again, our friends, the minke whales, this time the dwarf variety. That's my favorite one so far, I think. There's a song in there. You can make a song out of that. Okay, military sounds. Knock, the talking beluga whale. I included this in the military section as he was captured and trained by the US Navy and was even used in 2 top-secret missions. The Navy trained 6 beluga whales in numerous tasks, one of which was using a special tool in their mouths for retrieving torpedoes from the ocean floor. Holy shit. Knock stood out among the rest of the belugas as he began to imitate human speech. There's one incident where some divers were working on something near his enclosure, and one of the divers heard the order out. When the diver surfaced, he asked who gave the order, but everyone denied issuing it. It was later discovered to have come from Knock. This is a recording of Knock speaking. That's so weird. That's so fucking weird. It sounds like mocking almost. It sounds like he's doing the Final Fantasy victory song, says a chat member. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Unidentified marine mammal. ONC was unable to identify what was making these noises. And, it gets real weird at the end, chat. Oh my god. The end of that. What the fuck? Okay, again, it sounds like a Half-Life noise. It did sound like a koala noise a little bit. The audio quality of that was like really good. And it was gross. I guess now we know there's underwater demons. This was something that was too well done for me not to do. This was all written out and well researched, and I thought it was great. So thank you everybody for watching and giving a segment like this a chance. I like learning once in a while, and this is a great way to do it. And I guess here's one more. 2 midshipmen calling for a female. Midshipmen fish build themselves a territory under rocks, then begin to hum like this, try to attract females to their nest. Yeah, you can hear the 2 tones. Do you want to hear what it sounds like when 2 ducks make 2 different pitched noises at the same time? It sounds like this.